Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to make this 3D stylized film title using the free Cinema 4D Lite that comes with After Effects. Okay, so we start here in After Effects. We go up to File, New, Maxon Cinema 4D file. That'll ask you to save. That'll launch Cinema 4D Lite. If you have any problems using Lite, I've got a tutorial on troubleshooting. I'll link that here. On this Pixel Lab site, which I'll link below, there's lots of free models. I just chose this car. Once you've got that, you can find it in your Finder and simply just throw it into Cinema 4D. You'll get this little warning about it not being for commercial purposes. And you can delete this cube, delete this light, delete this, delete this. So we're just left with the car. This is actually opened in a new project. So all we need to do is copy this, Control or Command C, and then press V, which brings up some shortcuts. And you can see this is our linked file to After Effects. So we'll just hit that and then paste that in there. As you can see, this car is actually tiny, so let's bring up the scale by holding T on our keyboard, clicking and dragging with the mouse, scale that up to something a bit more reasonable. And to navigate around our scene, we can either use these icons up the top here, that's pan, zoom and orbit, or you can use the 1, 2 and 3 keys and click and drag. So 1 click and drag to pan, 2 click and drag to zoom, 3 click and drag to orbit. So let's carry on setting up our scene, going to this little cog icon, changing this to Full HD 1920 by 1080, and let's throw a light into our scene. So this is our light here. I mean, that's already quite a cool effect, kind of underlit. But let's make this more extreme by going to our light and then under attributes, general, taking this up to 10,000 or something. And as you can see, this is the kind of effect we want to get. And if we start moving this light around, you can see we get all sorts of interesting kind of silhouettes and shapes. If you're just getting started with 3D and want to start learning the fundamentals, I've got a free course over on my website. There's a link in the description below. That takes you through all the basics utilizing the free Cinema 4D Lite. So let's save this, Apple S, and you have to do that to see updates in After Effects. And then as you can see, we've got this Cinema 4D file. All we need to do is throw that onto a new composition. That'll load up and there we go. So we're looking at this through a kind of draft render. Again, it looks quite cool, but we just want to show that without the grid. So if we go to current, we can see that. And I think actually, weirdly, a slightly better result is current draft. And some of those edges get cleaned up. And actually, let's jump back to Cinema 4D and clean up those edges a little bit more. So back to Cinema 4D, back into our cog icon, and let's go to anti-aliasing, change this to best, drop that down to about 5. That should clean up some of those lines. So next thing I want to show you is setting up a camera, and obviously it's this little camera icon, so we click that once, just making sure we're looking through it by clicking the little box next to it. And we can use our 1, 2 and 3 keys to kind of move around our scene and frame it up, something like this. And then adding some keyframes here on our coordinates at the beginning, and then kind of pushing in. We're going to go to maybe about 60. We can push in to the side there and add some more keyframes. And then we get this kind of slow push. It's already got some easing already on it. And we can also animate the light as well, because that'll be quite interesting to kind of have this like almost come out of the dark. Maybe we'll have the light start down here. Again, just adding keyframes in the coordinates, taking that up to 60 and moving it using these axes handles till we get some nice kind of shapes. Obviously you can get a lot more creative with the camera angles and the lights, but I'm just going to show you that basic move for now. So let's save that to see updates over in After Effects. So all I did from here was add some ink drops. So I'll add these in the project files, which you can download. There's a link in the description. And I used this as a kind of track mat to reveal the car. And so that's the basic effect.